In a social media post, President Trump suggested he'll provide funding for SNAP food benefits if he gets clarification from the judge who ordered his administration to use contingency funds to pay for the program. In the meantime, state officials are sounding the alarms as the lapse in assistance for millions of people begins today. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, whose state serves nearly 2 million SNAP beneficiaries, declared a disaster emergency and called on the president to follow the judge's ruling.
Given this administration and its propensity to ignore the rule of law, I don't trust that they're going to follow this judge's ruling. I sure hope the Trump administration does not appeal and instead adheres to the rule of law and follows this judge's ruling. It is really important that we get these dollars flowing again.
And before Friday's ruling, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster activated the state guard to assist food banks as more than 550,000 people in his state are set to be impacted. Joining us now, Democratic Mayor Matt Turk of Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Republican Mayor Daniel Rickenmann of Columbia, South Carolina. Mayor Turk, I want to start with you and ask you about your reaction to President Trump's comments last night that he wanted the courts to clarify the SNAP ruling and what you think mayors and localities and towns and people like you can do in the meantime.
Yeah, two things. So thanks. It's good to be with you this morning. I was running through Allentown this morning and stopped at one of our bodegas to check with one of the business owners and ask how she thinks things are going. And Mariela at Monchi's told me that people are already responding. They're already reacting by scaling back some of their purchasing. So when I hear President Trump say, like, let's wait until Monday to decide how we're going to proceed, it just adds to the uncertainty and adds to the challenge that people face. Mayors are good at serving their residents. We're good at responding to uncertainty. We're doing a host of different things to try to create a greater level of certainty for our residents, make sure that we're showing up where we need to show up to meet the needs of people who are struggling already.
Mayor Rickenmann, for years, the Republican Party has talked about people who have SNAP or get food aid from the federal government as moochers, as, the stereotypical inner city black woman with all these children, and as if Republicans don't also benefit from it. Because at the end of the day, everyone in this country should be able to eat and feed their children. And I'm curious when you hear, and I'm sure you've seen some of the comments as well this week from Republicans. You have Republicans say things like, you got to be on crack if you can't make $4,200 a year work for food assistance. You see Tuberville, the senator from Alabama, saying that, basically it's Democrats. The president himself said basically it's Democrats that this is the issue for. What do you have to say to your party as someone who has to deal with this every single day of making sure that the folks that are around you have what they need? That this is not just a Democratic problem. Hunger knows no bounds and no party.
No, this is a people problem. I mean, and it's disappointing because both parties are guilty in this. Mayors, as Mayor Turk just said, we're having to deal with it every day. I mean, we're in our communities, in our churches, in our grocery stores, in our parks, on the streets. So we see it. This isn't a political party. It's just like a pothole. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. This is about people and taking care of it. And now I applaud our governor for reaching out and activating the One SC Fund, calling on people. We're activating our churches, our food banks, working together to plan, but they've got to get this together. This is a congressional issue, and our folks, on both sides, need to get together and resolve this problem and get the government operating, because it is causing massive issues across the board for all people. This is not party politics. This is ridiculous.
And more to that point, Mayor Turk, I mean, I hear what Mayor Rickenmann is saying, and yet you have the President of the United States taking to social media yesterday, and I want to put this up on the screen. He wrote, I do not want Americans to go hungry just because the radical Democrats refuse to do the right thing and reopen the government. The Democrats should quit this charade where they hurt people for their own political reasons and immediately reopen the government. I'm sure you agree with Mayor Rickenmann that this isn't a Democratic problem or a Republican problem, and that Congress needs to do something. But how can Congress do anything when the president, who is a self-described deal maker, is the one who is throwing sand in the gears with comments like that?
So mayors are, I'm really happy to see my friend Mayor Rickenmann here. We are a bipartisan group. We're a largely nonpartisan group. We're just focused on meeting the needs of our residents. And so when I see President Trump's comments, that is ancillary to what we really need to happen here in the immediate term. I was super happy to see Governor Shapiro declare an emergency here in Pennsylvania to meet the needs of 2 million Pennsylvanians, including about 40,000 Allentonians, to release some of those funds to step up and show up where they can. The president can do the same thing. I wrote a letter to Secretary Rollins at the U.S. Department of Agriculture urging her to tap into a $5.5 billion contingency fund that would allow SNAP benefits to continue to be paid during this emergency. The congressional thing, absolutely work on that. But in the interim, help give some people some confidence that they'll be able to put food on their table in the weeks to come.
And Mayor Rickenmann, I just want to follow up with you and push back a little bit on something that you were saying, that this is not a political issue. But even prior to the shutdown, Republicans unanimously supported the big, beautiful bill that was passed that makes cuts to the SNAP program, nearly $300 billion through year 2034. I mean, and I think I'm fairly certain that no Democrat ultimately supported that bill that implements these cuts. I mean, what do you make beyond the government shutdown, beyond this immediate crisis, about the future of the SNAP program and the ability to keep people, your constituents, fed?
Oh, well, 100%. But let's also be realistic. The Democrats voted on a continuing resolution 6 months ago, same bill. So, you know, there's blame on both sides, and there's pushback. My concern is SNAP program is very important. I mean, I have 23,000 people in this county. 68% of those are under 18. So, yes, it is very important for us to support these programs. These programs also, at the same time, we have to make sure that the benefits are getting to those who are in need and qualified. So 68% of the people across the U.S. believe that we need to spend money on programs like this to ensure that people have all the needs they have, especially today in the rising costs, but also want to make sure that we're effectively getting those out. I'm a big supporter of that. I believe that we need to look at that. But yes, there are some issues there that we need to look at. But at the end of the day, we're going to fund these programs. Nobody wants anybody to go hungry. You've heard the president. We're going to continue to move forward. But, you know, it really is time for the administration and congressional leaders to stop and move forward. I mean, at the end of the day, they're in control of this. If we could fund this program in the state, I mean, it's $103 million a month. We can't be reimbursed for that. So we're having to go pull our one fund together, pull our churches, pull our food banks and everything together. So we're going to continue to do everything we can to take care of our constituents.
Columbia Mayor and my family's home state of South Carolina, Daniel Rickenmann, and Allentown Mayor Matt Turk. Thank you both for coming on The Weekend.